Welcome to another installment of r/Entitled Parents, where parents think they deserve everything just because they gave birth to you. Before we get started, if you enjoy these Reddit stories, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you're new here, welcome. I make videos compiling Reddit stories from all sorts of different subreddits. As always, let me know which story you enjoyed the most and feel free to suggest a subreddit you think I should visit. Now let's move on to the first story of the day, which was posted by MFR 1988. My mother who didn't raise me thinks she's entitled to a mother-in-law suite when I buy a home. Quick backstory. My mother didn't raise me, her parents did. She's always chosen guys and partying over me and my siblings. This is why CPS has taken all three of her kids away. Once I became an adult, joined the military, she would hit me up every couple months asking me to give her different sums of money. She works, but it's a BS job. Eventually, I asked her why doesn't she get a real job, and her response, because I would be miserable doing that. Here I got to talk crap to people and have fun. That's all good if you can pay your bills, but she can't. She's done the same thing to my sister, who was also in the military. Anyway, I talk to her roughly 3 or 4 times a year. Last week, she was asking me when I finish school where I will be moving to. I told her I don't know. Her response was, well, wherever you go, you know I need a mother-in-law suite to stay at. My response was, no I don't. After that, I got bombarded with how my generation doesn't know anything about respect and how I wasn't raised properly. Mind you, I was raised by the same people as her. And also how my dad wanted an abortion, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. After all that, I said thanks, but I'm still never going to have an in-law suite for you. Well, enjoy your effing life, is the last thing she said before hanging up. I'm sure in a couple months she'll be asking for something again. Damn, no offense OP, but your mother is pretty entitled. Even my mother, who's raised me for 20 plus years, has never demanded a mother-in-law suite or to even live with me. But that could also be because my parents find me very annoying. Our next story was posted by Ixy Things. You already have a child. You should sell me your new baby. As much as I like this sub, I live in fear of having the opportunity to post here. And yet, here I am, with the realization that I have family that I can talk about here. This is the most manipulative and ugly, literally ugly, classist, racist person I've ever met. I've worked in customer service and do politics in a totalitarian government, so it's safe to assume I've already seen the worst of the worst. She is married to my uncle. Let's call her Mary. Mary has pulled a lot of entitled stunts over the course of her life. I probably have over 100 stories that I could share that I know of. I don't talk to that part of the family because they're toxic as F, but there are a few family gatherings in which we meet. One of those happened yesterday and I got reminded of her golden traits, so I thought you would enjoy raging with me. Her entitlement shone yesterday as she tried to make herself the best friend of my current boss, who's married to my cousin and he's filthy rich. Brought a friend of hers who's supposed to be strictly quarantined because she is high risk. Tried to outshine the 1-month-old baby who we were all there to meet, with her already grown-up daughters who we've all met. Tried to become the host of a party in a house that wasn't hers, going as far as to serve food from the refrigerator that wasn't designated to the party servings. And to top it all off, we were also there to pray for my cousin's mother who died last week. I don't participate in Christian stuff, but she was my favorite aunt and like a second mother to me. So the moment of appreciation was very important to me, to my cousin, my other aunt, and Mary's husband. Turns out, Mary decided that since we were there to remember the dead ones, it would be a nice thing to not only take the role of the main person leading the prayers, but to also include a picture, a big one, of her mother that she pulled out of her purse and put in front of my aunt's picture, covering it almost completely. And start with the speech of how she missed her mother, who died 10 years ago, and literally just said rest in peace about my aunt's death. But I'm not here today to tell you that story. Oh no, I was just venting. Since I have so much to tell and so little time, I figured it would be best if I started with the oldest tale I know of. The time she asked my mom to sell her my brother while she was 4 months pregnant. Good old Mary is infertile. She has two daughters. One was conceived in vitro and then introduced into her womb. The other one popped out of nowhere. Literally. We suspect she bought it out from someone since she has a record of trying this, but whatever. Before having her first daughter, when I was around 10 years old, my mother broke the news to the family that she was pregnant. Yay! Mary wasn't happy with this because she, as of then, had been trying for years with her husband and wasn't able to get pregnant. She always had this sort of competition with my mom and with everyone, because she has this need of being the best in everything. She must have the most money, have the most expensive clothes, be more successful in her career, have the happiest marriage, going to the most exotic places. But she wasn't the best. She was the only one with no children out of the 7 siblings of the family, my aunts and uncles. And she was also one of the oldest wives. So imagine her jealousy when the youngest one, directly below her husband, was going to have her second child while her and her husband were still child-free. The horror. Her status. So she put my mother aside one day and told her, "You know, it isn't fair that you get pregnant before us. It wasn't fair for you to have OP before your brother since he's older than you. But whatever, it can't be helped if OP was a broken condom or something. But you know, we've been trying for years now and we're just exhausted. And we're not comfortable with trying those artificial methods, nor having a baby without our blood. So since you're family, and we know you are not in a financial position to take care of another baby right now, what would you say if I offered to pay for everything pregnancy related? And after the baby is born, I would pay you X amount for keeping it as your brother's and I's baby." Of course, my mom said no. She told me roughly how the proposition went years later, but only because I was the one that found out why she was so pushy about buying my brother. Because this wasn't a one-time thing. No, she tried constantly to convince my parents to sell them my brother throughout the next 5 months, and even for some months after he was born. You see, my father is a son of immigrants. He has European bloodline and is very handsome. Mary also has the need of proving to everyone that she has royal blood, and aesthetics are everything to her. Hence the need to show herself as the best of the best in every aspect of life. She will not hesitate to do anything to achieve her goal of being the perfect woman with the perfect life. This includes pretending she has white genes. She doesn't. We live in a heavily race-mixed country. She was born in one of the least developed states, in a humble family, in a small town, with only town people that has been working under the sun for generations, so all of them have dark skin. She married my uncle, who comes from a family that lived in an island for generations, and who is also the most dark-skinned one of all the siblings. There is no way she is going to have a baby who is white. But my mom is one of the most light-skinned between her siblings, and she married my dad, who has Italian and Polish genes. And I was born with very pale skin and smooth hair. Mary's and her husband's hair are what we describe as bad hair. Not in an offensive way, but that's how it's called here. It's basically super twisted and thick hair. There was a big chance my brother was going to be born European looking. You already know where this is going, right? One day, I was minding my own business while at their daughter's birthday party, and I happened to wander close to where Mary was talking with someone. I didn't know her. And I heard how she openly complained about how her daughter was black, and how she wished she managed to convince my mom and dad to just give her their baby, because having a white son would have solved all her problems. It is so hard to move up the stairs of society when you have a black family. And not only that, but having an ugly daughter isn't going to help either. There's no way she'll marry a rich man. How is she supposed to pay for her retirement? There was more said, but I can't remember it all. And yes, my uncle approves of her behavior and patronizes it. They, two dark-skinned people, believe in white supremacy. Oh, by the way, forgot to mention that the daughter that popped out of nowhere one day is white, and looks nothing like Mary or her husband. What the heck is wrong with your aunt? Why does she need to be the center of attention all the time? She is so insecure it makes 13-year-old girls look confident. Also, she just called her own daughter ugly. She does know that those genes come from her and her husband, right? If she's ugly, they're ugly. I hope that when their daughter reaches adulthood, she leaves and never looks back. That concludes this episode of r/Entitled Parents. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe, as this all really helps my channel grow and pushes me to create more videos. Also, I'll be posting videos every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, so make sure you turn on notifications to be notified for my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.